Hi, I'm Ned Kelly. Welcome back to Light for the LightKeepers. Today we're continuing with part 2 of our discussion of prayer basics. Let's review what are those basics. Those 5 basic skills are centering, listening, connecting, shifting, and releasing. Today we're focusing on listening and connecting. Now there are 2 aspects to listening, internal and external. Just going to touch very briefly on the internal listening, that is listening to that voice within, your own consciousness, your own spirit, your own guidance. You do that through your own meditation time. You do that through different processes like painting for process or journaling or a number of other ways to find out for your own self what is up for me. Now, our main focus in the Light for the LightKeepers series is on praying with others. So by listening, I mean listening to the person with whom you are praying, listening for their prayer request, and listening throughout your entire time of prayer with them for other clues and information that can be helpful for the process of prayer. Now, to listen, you put your focus on the other person. You have an open, non-judgmental heart, and you seek to align yourself with them. And when you are listening, be sure to give feedback. Let your prayer partner know that you are hearing them. Now, when you are in person, face to face, you can nod, you can smile, maybe even holding their hands or a pat on the shoulder, if they are open to physical contact, and do not assume that they are. Now, if you are not with them in person, that is, if you're praying with them over the phone, for example, you still need to give them that feedback. You need to let them know they are being heard. You do this audibly by telling them, I hear you, I understand, we are with you. You can simply say, all right, all right. Make some noises, of course, the the ahas, simply saying yes. What happens if you don't give any feedback? If you don't do that active listening? Well, the person who is trying to connect with you and give you their prayer concerns might not feel heard. They might not know whether or not you understand them. They might feel lost out there in space with no stability. So they may keep going and going. They may start flailing. So be sure to center them. Be sure to connect with them. Be sure to let them know they are being heard. If you don't believe me, try this experiment with a partner. Sit back to back so you're facing away from each other. The first person is going to describe something simple like the front door of your home. The color, what it's made of, what it looks like, all of that. The other person who is just listening, the first time you do this, don't say anything, don't make a sound, don't give any feedback at all. And the person who was describing their front of their home, feel whether or not you felt heard and understood. Now do the same thing again, but the person who is listening can offer some feedback. Can even just make noises like all right. And feel, for the person who was doing the describing and talking, just feel whether or not you felt more like you were understood and heard and connected with the other person. Which brings us to our third skill, connecting with your prayer partner. To connect with your prayer partner means to align with them, heart to heart. It means to see their point of view. It means to hold space with them and for them. How does one connect with your prayer partner? You do it through your intention, your willingness to align yourself with them in consciousness. You also do it by matching their energy level. If your prayer partner comes to you very sullen, sad, and low energy, you want to be peaceful, calm in your response. If someone is very excited, feel free to raise your own level of energy and excitement as well. Connecting with your partner also means meeting them where they are at. So speaking in terms that they can understand. If a person is praying to a God outside of themselves, oh dear Father, Mother, God up there, if you speak in terms of the Christ consciousness that you are, they probably just won't hear you. So finding a way to connect with them and still be true to your own understanding and your own self. I hopefully will be doing another video about the 4 levels of prayer consciousness. Here are a few notes on listening and connecting with your prayer partner. Number 1, listening and validating does not mean always agreeing. The person with whom you are praying may take a stance or make a statement that you totally disagree with, be it political, social, philosophical, and spiritual in nature. They may say something that is totally opposite of what you believe. To validate them and let them know they are being heard, you don't have to say, yes, that's true. You can simply let them know you hear them with the all right, Or a great one is, I'm honored to pray with you about that. Saying that you are honored to pray with someone doesn't mean you have agreed with everything they have just said. It means you are honored to hold space with them and lift it up into consciousness, which hopefully you are. Number 2, you can connect without focusing on the details or the story. So if someone is giving you a list of things that they are praying for and about, the healing of their wrist, their fingers, their ear, this, that, and the other thing, you can acknowledge that by saying, we're praying for your health, your healing, your wholeness. You don't have to go into each and every detail or part of the story along the way. And number 3, be mindful not to throw in your own stuff, to pile on things that are up for you in the moment. For example, if someone is praying that they're concerned about the economy, and they say, oh boy, I'm worried about the stock market and inflation, you don't have to say, and what about the loss of jobs overseas? That's just adding on from your own personal worries. Well, my friend, I hope this has been helpful, this discussion about listening and connecting. Next, in part 3, we'll be exploring how to shift that consciousness, to raise and expand that awareness through